So we are going to look at types of intergenic interactions. Already we know that intergenic interaction, we are talking about what? Non-allelic interactions, right? Good. Now, one example, one type of non-allelic interaction is epistasis. Now, this is epistasis. If one allele on a particular gene influences the expression of an allele found somewhere else, that is called epistasis. So if one allele influences, for example, just like I use height, if the gene that codes for height influence that of skin color, that is epistasis. Do you understand that? Specifically, now we say epistasis can either be recessive epistasis or what? Dominant epistasis. Now let's look at this case. Recessive, we already know that the one that is not showing faults in a phenotype is called the recessive, right? While the dominant allele is the one that shows fault, is it not? Now, in epistasis, we say one gene can be masking the effect of another one. But the underlying word here is that they are not found on the same locus, right? The one that is doing the masking is called the what? Epistatic what? Gene. Epistatic gene. So epistatic gene. Now the one that is showing for that is suppressed is called the what? Hypostatic, right? Yeah. Now, if you look at this, let's look at this case. We have this plant. This plant have one gene, one of the gene, let's call it gene 1, codes for flower color, and the capital B here is for purple, and the small b is for white. Now look at this. If the plant have something like this, capital B, if this is the genotype, will this plant normally be purple or white? Purple, right? The dominant. If it is something like this, it will be what? Purple, right? If it is something like this, it will be what? White. Good. This is a case where there is no interaction. But what if that same plant have another gene, and that gene affects whether flower can grow at all or not? That is, there is one gene that codes for flower color. There is one gene that codes for flower color, and there is another gene in that plant that we regulate plant the flower growth. That is, if the flower can grow at all or not. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Now, A allows growth. That is, if the plant have A, at least one A, the plant will grow, right? The flower will come out, is it not? Yes. But if it has this small A, there will be no growth, is it not? Yes. Meaning, if we have something like this, if the plant have something like this, A, will there be flower? Yes. There will be flower, right? Yes. If it's something like this, will there be flower? Yes. What if it's something like this? No. No flower, right? No. Now, if a plant has A, what will be the color of the flower? If the plant have this A, what will be the color of the flower? White. There's no flower at all. There will be no color. Do you understand? Yes. If the plant has A, first of all, there will be no flower at all. So you can't tell if it is purple or white. So now in this case, gene from somewhere else is influencing the gene from another place. Is this dominant or recessive? Recessive. Remember, dominant genes are always written in capitals, right? Yes. While recessive, small letters. Now this recessive gene now is now masking dominant genes. So in this case, we call it recessive epistasis. Do you understand? Alright, now in dominant epistasis, let's look at case 2. Fruit color. This summer squash plants have one gene that codes for the color. If it has capital Y is for yellow, while small y is for green. if the plants have something like this, capital Y, what will be the color? Yellow, right? If it is like this, what will be the color? If it is like this, what will be the color? Not. Okay, it will be colorless. What will be the color? Green, right? Good. Now, that is if there is no interaction. If there is no gene interaction. But that same plant have another gene somewhere else on a different locus. And this gene, capital A, is for white color. White small a has no effect. White small a has no effect. Now, if the squash have at least one capital A, at least one capital A, what will happen? You can tell me what will happen. Do you understand the equation? There is one gene here on one locus, and this gene, if we have capital Y, that is yellow color, right? The recessive green. Now, there is another gene on another locus. Now, this gene, the dominant A here, is white color, while the recessive A has no effect. So, if the plant has at least one dominant A, then what will happen to the plant? All of them will be white, right? If the plant has something like this, A or A, all of them will be white, regardless of whether it is capital Y, small y. I don't know if you understand. I will take that again, you don't understand. Normally, before we say that if you have capital Y, the plant will be what? Yellow, right? From this first gene. If you have capital Y, small y, the plant will be what? Yellow. And if you have small y, the plant will be what? Green. I thought that's a nonsense of white. Now, the second gene, there is another gene. And we say A, the dominant, goes to what? White color. Why is the recessive has no effect, right? Good. Now, if the plant has at least one dominant A, like this, the plant will have white color, right?
Yes.
If it is like this, the plant will have what? What if it's like this? No effect. So any of this combination can show forth, right? Yes. Any of this can show forth. Yes. So long as the plant has any of this dominant, at least one of this, the plant will automatically be white, regardless of whether it is this or this on this other gene. So if you look at this, is this dominant or recessive? Now dominant is now masking the effect of another gene somewhere else. So in a case where a dominant gene masks the expression of another gene on another locus, that is called dominant epistasis. Yes. So this is one type of epistasis. The next thing here is complementary gene interaction. In complementary gene interaction, we have two genes. Now, and remember that we are not looking at two alleles coding for one thing. We have one gene somewhere else, another gene on another locus, a different position. But two of them are working hand in hand to produce a particular phenotype. Let me take for example, purple color in sweet peas. There are two genes working hand in hand to produce that color. One gene somewhere else, another gene somewhere else, two of them working together to produce that. If one of the gene is not working or is absent, there will be no purple color. Do you understand? Yes. That is complementary gene interaction. One gene is located somewhere else, another gene is located somewhere else, but two of them are coding for just one phenotype. Remember, phenotype is physical appearance, right? Yes. Now, if one gene, the gene somewhere else, refuses to work, if it is non-functional or it is absent, that phenotype will not be expressed. Do you understand that? Yes. Now, the next one is duplicate gene interaction. Duplicate is what? Another copy, right? Two copies, isn't it? Now, if you duplicate something, Will two of them be the same?
Yes.
Now, duplicate gene interaction. We have two genes. One gene located on one locus, another gene located on another locus. But two of them, they are coding for the same thing. If one refuses to work, the character will still be expressed. If both refuse, the person die and go now. But do you understand? There is difference between complementary gene interaction and duplicate gene interaction. In complementary, both of them must be present for the phenotype to be expressed. But in duplicate gene interaction, if one refuses, in fact they are the same thing, they are coding for the same thing, located on different places, on different locus. If one refuses to work, the phenotype will still be expressed. Do you understand that? Do we understand that?
Yes, sir.
Alright, the next one is polygenic inheritance. Poly means what?
Many.
Many, right? This one in polygenic inheritance, many genes are responsible for the expression of a single phenotype. Here we are not looking at two genes or something. Multiple genes are responsible for the expression of one phenotype. For example, I give you as what? Height, skin color, weight, right?
Yes.
So multiple genes are involved in the expression of this phenotype height. Now